So what did everybody on here, my fans, they gonna post it on YouTube or whatever. But so this episode, it's not a doozy, but I mean I think I wanted to try something new. But we gonna get into this episode, my love life and careers in a parallel universe. Shout out to Netflix and Hulu and all the outlets showing me love in the parallel universe, and especially Netflix, because Netflix is telling my biopic story, and yeah, it's definitely gonna be a banger. But so we gonna get into this episode, and yeah, man, we gonna thug. Oh, I got something. Uh, you'll see what I'm gonna do, so I'll holler at you later about that. But anyway, let's get into this episode. So, I remember, I'm sitting there, right, and I'm like in my office and take care of business, and my wife had just had got finished having like a seizure or whatever like that, and so I was in my office like looking all over, um, like her body work and stuff, like ever since she started taking the chemo medicine and stuff like that. So I'm talking to the doctors, and I go back in there with my wife Jenna and my nurses. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I was looking over, her lab work, and the chemo medicine shouldn't like make her have seizures, should it? So they're like, well, it all depends on how her body responds to the treatment. See, people bodies respond to the treatment differently. Not everybody bodies is going to respond to it the same, and just because she had a seizure, it doesn't mean that her body is rejecting the medicine. It means that, that it's working, but somehow the cancer is trying to fight back. So when the cancer is fighting back with the chemo, stuff like that will happen. You'll have a seizure, um, you'll throw up a lot, get really really sick. And I gotta be honest with you, David, and your wife Jenna, that I'm not gonna say that all the time people beat cancer. Sometimes people don't beat it. I mean, they'll still have like a lengthy life. They won't die necessarily right away. But what I'm saying is, not everybody beats it. So she might beat it and she might not beat it. I can't really make a promise to her and say, well, she's going to beat it, and then she doesn't, and then she dies, and so I don't want to promise y'all in this room that that's what's going to happen. But I am going to say that because she is pregnant again, that is a very good sign. So it is killing most of the cancer. So I definitely can say that the medicine is definitely 100% working. So the seizure, her having a seizure, I'm not going to say that that doesn't happen, because it does happen, um, to a lot of people that doesn't, that is fighting back with the medicine. And like I said, some people don't have seizures. You have some people that will take the medicine and don't have seizures, but the cancer will still be there. I'm like, I get what you're saying. She's like, yeah. So what I'm saying is like, even though she had a seizure, the medicine is still working. So she's like, so you saying even though I just damn near almost had a stroke? She was like, you had a seizure, you didn't have a stroke. She's like, yeah, but I almost had a stroke. She's like, you okay? You almost had a stroke, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, yeah, it's still working. She's like, it is. She's like, mm-hmm, it's still working. It's still working. I know it probably don't seem like it, But it is. I promise you, I wouldn't steer you wrong. So I just remember, I'm like, so I just remember, I'm like, I'm looking over a lot of things at a chart. It's like, what's wrong, David? What's wrong, baby? I'm like, I was just looking at your chart, in my office. She's like, so what do you think it is? I mean, we all know it's cancer. I'm like, yeah, it is cancer, but I don't know. I got this feeling she's not giving you the right medicine. She's like, you think she's deliberately giving me wrong medicine? I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna look more into it though. I'm not gonna jump the gun yet. Let me do more research. She's like, okay. I'm like, for right now, I don't think she's giving you medicine to kill you, but for right now, just keep taking the medicine, keep doing the right thing until I get to the bottom of it, okay? Because that seizure just was awkwardly weird as shit. She's like, yeah, I mean, why would I have a seizure? I mean, I'm like, yeah, so I definitely want to look more into this whole situation. Like I said, that was definitely abnormal for you to just freakishly have a damn seizure. She was like, right. So I remember, I'm sitting there, looking at my wife. I'm like, now, do you want me to take the babies? I mean, I can take them with me. She's like, I mean, do you want to? I mean, because David, you've been taking them a lot, and I mean, I don't want you to think I don't want my own daughters around. Like I do want them around. I'm like, okay, so how about this? You take them this time, and they will stay here, over the weekend, and I'll keep them all next week, and you don't got to take them at all. I was like, I was getting kind of used to taking them. She's like, okay, but I miss my daughters. I'm like, okay, so all right, so you take them this time, and then you don't have to take them for a while until I say so. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. It's like, all right, so you can take them today. I'm like, I can't say, well, yeah, of course, you're their daddy. Of course you can take them. So I'm kissing on her. Me and Jenna, we did have sex, and it was definitely really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still have sex with Jenna, even though she is sick. I still beat it up. I'm not gonna say I don't. Still get up in that shit. So I remember after we was done having sex, Jenna Ortega got the baby bags ready. She changed their clothes, she bathed them and all that, because I like it when she bathed them. Um, yeah, she did all that stuff, cleaned them, everything, even fed them and all that stuff. But she fed them first before she did any of that other stuff. She fed them first, and then after she fed them, and she did all that other extra stuff I just said. So I remember after she did all that, I put the babies in the car. I'm like, Jenny, you sure you're okay? She's like, I'm okay. But David, I don't think the nurse is doing, like, I don't think she's doing anything wrong. I'm like, so what do you think is going on? She's like, well, my family's kind of mad at me, like my mom and my sister and stuff. And especially because you found out that they were stealing from you. And I'm like, so what do you think is happening? She's like, I caught my mother coming out of the nurse's office in here. Like, I caught her coming out. When I asked her about it, she kind of like made up some lie. I'm like, so what do you think is going on? I'm asking you. She's like, I think she switched the medicines. I'm like, your mother. She's like, yeah, I think my mom snuck into the nurse's office and you're in here and pretty much switched the medicine. So I'm like, you think she did that? It's like, David, I wouldn't put it past her. I literally would not put it past my mother to do that because she is very angry at me. And so is my sister. Well, not all of my sisters, just one, but you kind of get the picture. So I'm like, well, why would she want to do that though? That's like poisoning you. She's like, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, for right now, all right, I'm gonna call my nurses when I get in the car, and I'm gonna tell them to check the medicine in front of, well, not in front of me, but while I'm on the phone. She's like, all right, I love you, like I love you too. So I get in the car and I call my nurses up, and they're like, "Hey, David, hey, boss." I'm like, "Look, I need to ask you a favor because I ain't in there." They was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Are you in the office?" They were like, "Mm-hmm." I'm like, "Now I need you to check the medicine because Jenna said that her mom was in there at one time and she think that she switched the medicines, and that's probably why she had that seizure." She's like, "That could happen too." She's like, "Let me look at it." So she looks at it and she's like, she's like, "Yeah, I think she definitely did that." Because I didn't really look at the bottles. I didn't really look inside of the bottles when she was taking the medicine. Yeah, she definitely did that. She switched the medicine. I'm like, she did. She's like, yes, yes, she did. But on the label it says it. But when I looked in it, it's the medicine is not actually in there. It's something different. I'm like, okay, so she did do that. She's like, right. Yeah, she definitely did that. I'm like, so when you leave out of there, make sure you lock the door behind you. I'll deal with her mother and later. So she's like, all right, all right. So I get out the phone with the nurse and I text Jenna that she was right. Her mom did switch the medicine. Now Jenna was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna say something to my mother about this shit. Like, why would she do that? Why would she switch the medicines? Try to kill me? Like, what the fuck? So I can't stop her from saying anything to her mom. Like I said, I mean, that is a mom. She can say what she wants to her mother, especially if her mom try to kill her. So, um, so look, I remember I had to meet up with this particular actress. Now, if y'all don't know who this actress is, I'm definitely gonna give y'all a hint of who she is. She was like the little girl that played on Blackish. She also played in a movie called Little. She was like the little girl that played like a grown up in a kid's body. So I think y'all kind of know who she is, but she is like, how old is she now? She's about, I gotta say, like almost like about 19 now. She's about 19, almost 20. So yeah, we're doing like a TV series together. She's also doing another TV series for Disney Plus. So she is working on some projects. I will give her that. She is working on some projects. Now, I don't know. I think she is still working on that project with Disney. But we are doing a project together. It's not for Disney. It is actually the weirdest thing is for Nickelodeon. So it's for Nickelodeon. So I had to meet up with her, and it's actually another cartoon series. Now I'm really trying to bring a lot of cartoons back because I don't think there's any really good cartoons out there. I think it's a lot of stupid ass cartoons that's out. I don't really think there's a lot of good, real good cartoons. Cause back in my damn time, they had some really good ass cartoons. We had some really good cartoons to come home to look at. But I feel like now, I think it's just a lot of stupid ass cartoons out there. They'll make anything into a cartoon. Literally, a fucking pickle and a fucking peanut as a damn cartoon. Like, literally. They make anything into a fucking cartoon. So it's like, we don't have really good ass cartoons out there. So I'm trying to bring a lot of cartoons back. And this cartoon show is obviously, yes, it is about me. So this cartoon is about me actually working on an album with Tupac Shakur. Yeah, that's right. And she's my co-star. Like she plays my girlfriend. And I wanted to bring a lot of these other damn rappers and icons back. I can do that. It's a fucking cartoon. I can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a cartoon. You can't tell me how to make a cartoon. I do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring a lot of these icon rappers back, and this is what I want to do. I want to bring a cartoon series back of me working on an album in the studio, hanging out with Tupac, and like actually chilling with Tupac day by day. You know what I'm saying? So I pitched the idea to Nickelodeon and they loved it. Um, Also, and then I pitched it to, I call her Miss Martin. I call her Miss Martin as like a nickname. So I pitched it to Miss Martin team and they sent it to her. She ended up definitely loving the script and she was like, yeah, I want to do it. She was like, I want to do it. I want to be one of the voices for the character, the girl, the leading girl. And she was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Now, we never have met at the time. My team had just, pitched the idea to her team and luckily she ended up accepting it. So we met at Nickelodeon Studios, and if y'all don't know, Nickelodeon is in process to they in process to make like a Nickelodeon Plus, like like Disney Plus, like in that they got all these shows and movies and stuff like that. So they in process to make their own app. You know what I'm saying? And I was always wondering why the fuck Nickelodeon never tried to make their own actual app. And they said they definitely in process to make their own app and have all of their hit shows and all of their hit movies under their belt on the app. They're definitely working on that shit. But that takes a lot of money and a lot of time and stuff. But they definitely have been working on it. And they said it's almost done. They said it's not coming out this year, but definitely sometime next year. So yeah, they definitely been working on that. So we get to the Nickelodeon studios and I see her getting out the car with her team and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, Miss Martin. She was like, yeah, you was calling me that on the phone. You know that's not my name, right? I'm like, what? She's like, that's not like my whole name. I'm like, yeah, I know that. She was like, why you calling me Miss Martin? She's like, I'm not married. I'm like, I know you're not married. I call you Miss Martin as a nickname though. She's like, oh, you one of those persons. I'm like, yeah, it's like you like nicknames. You one of those persons. I didn't know you was one of those persons. I'm like, yeah, I am definitely one of those persons. So she's like, okay, didn't know you was that one. I'm like, yeah, you don't like that? Because I can call you by your original name. She's like, no, I actually feel kind of special. You calling me by a nickname. I feel special. So we went in and we went into the studio and we talked to everybody at Nickelodeon. So they was like, so y'all gonna be working on the project today, right? I'm like, yeah, we gonna go in my studio and work on it. I wanted to work on it somewhere close to home, in my studio where I feel like I can be myself. This is a little bit too hot diddy for me. They was like, you can do anything in here. Ain't nobody gonna stop you, David. You're fucking David Simmons. You think anybody gonna stop you? Now we really like the fact that you brought this cartoon series to our company. And we told you we've been working on our own app to get it out there to the world, Nickelodeon Plus. Definitely been working on that. I'm like, look, there ain't no rush. I mean, y'all can work on it as much as y'all want to. I mean, you think I'm rushing y'all? I just was asking why the fuck y'all don't have your own damn app out there. It's like, yeah, we definitely need our app out there. Everybody's stealing our damn shows and shit. So I'm like, yeah. She was like, they was like, yeah, but okay. So y'all gonna be working on the show today. So starting on the first season. So that means y'all gonna be working on the first episode. I'm like, yes. So they're like, that is totally fine with us. So we left from Nickelodeon. It wasn't that long of a meeting. So I'm like, you gonna ride with me? She's like, yeah, I'm kind of right. Sorry about that, David. I rode down here with my parents, but they can take my car. Yeah, I can ride with you. I'm like, you sure? It's like, yeah, but how the hell can you drive? You're in a wheelchair. I'm like, my car, all I gotta do is press the button. It drives by itself. It's like a person. She's like, oh, so you don't gotta drive it or steer it? I'm like, right. I just type in where I gotta go in my truck, it just takes me there. And right now, it already knows where it's going. So she's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So she get in the car with me, and we get in the back of my truck. I'm like, damn, you real pretty. I always liked you. She's like, you like me? Like you had a little crush on me? I'm like, yeah. It's like, so I heard you was dating Haley Bailey. Is that true? I'm like, I mean, yeah, but she gonna eventually go back to that DDG nigga. She was like, I mean, if she do, that's her loss. I mean, that's her problem. but I think you're a catch. And like, you do. She's like, of course I do. I'm like, really? So if I was to kiss you right now, would you stop me? She's like, do you think I would stop you? If you was to leap over here and kiss me right now, do you think I would actually tell you to stop kissing me? I mean, you. The only way that you would know is if you actually tried. I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. She's like, if you tried right now to kiss me, that's the only way that you'll know if I tell you to stop or not. So I leaned over, we started kissing. She let me kiss her. Then I went up her shirt or whatever, and I'm like feeling her titties and stuff. And she's kind of like looking at me or whatever. And I can tell that she like have sex before, like she didn't let nobody beat it up. So I'm like kissing on her. I'm like got my hands up her shirt, and we going at it. So she's like, okay, wait, hold on, stop, David, wait. I'm like, what? She's like, um, I never done it before. I'm like, you never had sex before? She's like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm like, can I beat it up? She's like, is that all you want to do is just have sex with me? I'm like, that's not all I want to do, but yeah, I mean, I do want to make love to you. It's like, that sounds a lot better than beat it up. I'm like, I mean, even though I'm going to make love to you, I'm still going to be beating it up. She's like, yeah, I know, but I don't want you to say it like that. Like, can I beat it up? Can you say something like, can I make love to you? I'm like, well, can I? It's like, but yeah, if we do this and you take my cookie, what did that leave me with? I mean, what happens after we have sex? I'm like, well, I mean, I was hoping you'd be my girlfriend. She's like, really? Are you're not fucking with me in the back of this truck, are you? You're not saying that just to get some sex out of me. I'm like, no, of course not. I really was hoping that we start dating, not just in the show, in the cartoon show. But for real. She's like, okay. So she did let me have sex with her, and it was really, really good. It took a little while to like pop her cherry and everything, but she definitely let me get up in there, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it was amazing. Like, I was turning that ass up, boy. And it was so good. She's like, you like talking dirty, don't you? I'm like, how you know? She's like, I can just tell by like how we were having sex. You like talking dirty. Give me some time to get used to it, and I promise you, I'll get the hang of it. I'm like, you sure? It's like, yeah, can we stop to get something to eat before we go to the studio and start working on the show? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I remember, Nadia had called me, so I'm like, hello. She was like, hey, baby, are you spending time with your sister? I'm like, no, I did that yesterday. She's like, oh, okay, how did it go? I'm like, yeah, it went pretty good. She was like, oh, okay, they still here? I'm like, yeah, they still here. I kind of gave my sister a job. She's like, you gave her a fucking job? I'm like, yeah, it ain't nothing spectacular though. She's like, what type of fucking job you give her? I'm like, she's like my assistant, something like that. It's like, your assistant? You could have gave that shit to me. I'm like, well, you didn't say you wanted to work for me, baby. She's like, no, I would love to be your assistant. You should give that shit to me, somebody you can actually trust. I'm like, okay, all right. So you want me to fire my sister? It's like, yeah, she doesn't deserve that shit. We both know that. So I'm like, okay, nah, dear. It's like, and I'm starting to feel the damn babies. I'm starting to feel that I'm pregnant. I'm like, you starting to feel it? It's like, mm-hmm. I'm definitely starting to feel it. I'm like, okay. It's like, I know it's more than one baby. I don't think it's just two. I'm like, how many do you think it is? Like, I don't know, but I think it's definitely more than two. I'm like, you think it's more than two babies? And you was like, yeah, I feel like it. Because when I eat, I be eating like really big meals, baby. I'm like, you do? She's like, yeah. That's why I be so hungry. Not, I mean, especially after we have sex, I be like extremely hungry after that. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right, you can be my assistant. She's like, okay. All right, well, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. She's like, all right. So she's like, wait, how did the meeting go with Nickelodeon? I'm like, yeah, it went good. We're gonna be working on the first episode today, me and Miss Martin, my co-star. She's like, is it a girl? I'm like, yeah. She's like, is she pretty? I'm like, she's an average girl. It's like, what is an average girl? So I'm like, and a girl that look average, like okay, she's like not a dime piece, but she'll do. She's like, are you just saying that to make me feel better on this phone? I'm like, so you think I'm stroking your damn ego? She's like, a little bit, yeah. So I'm like, okay. I get on the phone with her, and I just remember I go in there with Miss Martin. Now Miss Martin, she she was kind of talking to some boy, but she was like, "I just did it." I'm like, "Well, what did you just do?" She's like, "You just broke up with my well, not broke up with him, because we wasn't technically boyfriend and girlfriend, but I told him that we couldn't date anymore, because we're a thing, right? Like you just said it before we had sex, coming up here that we would like be girlfriend and boyfriend. Those were your words, not mine. So I'm like, no, yeah, we are. You are my girlfriend. She's like, okay. So I just told him that we can't go out no more. And he didn't take it too well, obviously. And now he's threatening that he's going to leak some videos of me being half naked and stuff, which he never filmed me. So if he did film me, it was out. It was definitely without me knowing, without my consent. So I will definitely take his ass to court if he do got some video on me, because I never said he could film me. So if he leaked that shit, I'm taking him straight to court. So I'm like, oh, you didn't tell him? She's like, no, I never told him he can film me, and he never filmed me while we were like kissing and stuff like that. So I'm like, did you ever take your clothes off for him? She's like, I did it like one time, but I never did it like every time he asked me. So I'm like, okay. She's like, and if he do got video of me showing my body, like I said, if he leaked that shit, I will definitely like I know how to take legal action, so I'm not stupid. So I'm like, okay. She's like, a lot of these girls, they be so scared to take legal action and be afraid about what people gonna say, and it's like I don't care if people see me half naked, because people see girls half naked all the time. That's definitely not my damn concern. My concern is the fact that you filmed me without me fucking knowing, and I didn't tell you that you can do that. So that's my damn concern. That's what I'm worried about. The fact that you did that shit without me knowing, and how much footage do you got of that shit? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm only concerned about. I ain't concerned about nothing else, because I ain't never sucked his dick. So he don't got video of me doing that. We never had sex. So he don't got video of that. So I don't have to worry about that. We did kiss and stuff. He felt me up, but that was pretty much it. That's all I mean, and he fingered me a couple of times, but that was it. But other than that, like even just with that, you filming me while you putting your finger up my vagina and stuff. Yeah, that I still got a problem with that too. I'm like, you do? She's like, hell yeah, I do. Because if you filming me, that's kind of like a porno video, like somebody fingering a girl because she got a moan and stuff like that. So the fact if you're filming me without me fucking knowing, and then you leak it because you're mad that I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're being petty, yeah, I'm taking your dumb ass to court, and you're definitely gonna lose. You're probably gonna end up doing some jail time, because why the fuck? And first of all, he's like 24 years old, and I'm like 19. Even though I'm legal, that's still like he's 26. I'm like, he's 26. She's like, yeah, he's 26. So him doing that, that's definitely not gonna look good on his part. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and I think he was grooming me to have sex with me. So I'm glad that I broke it off with him before, and I really felt uncomfortable dating him anyway. I was just telling my mother that like a couple of hours ago. I'm like, you was? She's like, yep, I sure was. I was definitely on my damn way to breaking up with him, and we wasn't like officially together, but yeah, I just didn't feel right. I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, you wasn't? She's like, no, not really. So she's like, but this is serious. Like we are like a thing, right? No bullshit, right? I'm like, yeah, no bullshit. So we definitely did, the first episode, and it came out really good, like really good. And she was like, how you know how to do all this shit? I'm like, what you mean? She's like all this shit you doing right now, like how you know how to like work all this shit? I'm like, because I mean I didn't watch the engineers do it, so it's not anything new to me. I didn't, watched a lot of this shit before. She's like, this, like, wow, you really know how to do this shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fucking idiot. So she's like, damn, it really look good though. So you think this cartoon series is gonna be really good? I mean, I know it's gonna be really good because your name is attached to it, but you think it's gonna like go with Nickelodeon? Cause a lot of people they gonna have a lot of shit to say. Why would they put this cartoon show on Nickelodeon? So I'm like, I don't give a damn what they gonna say. You think I care about what they gonna say about my cartoon show? I do things because I want to do things. I do things my damn way. It doesn't matter what another person think I should do. It's none of their fucking business. She was like, "Yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. I like this episode." She's like, "I like this episode too." So when do the season come out with the one of you going on tour with Elvis Presley and Haley Bailey? When do that come out? I'm like, in a couple of weeks. She's like, oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see that shit. So I'm like, you can't wait. Why you didn't come to the damn premiere? I invited you. It's like, I'm sorry. I was working on that project. I'm doing a show with Disney Plus. So I've been working on that. I'm sorry. I definitely did want to come though. I'm like, you wanted to come? It's like, yeah, I did. I'm sorry I didn't make it. So I'm like, yeah, it's cool. So I remember, after I was done, doing everything to the first episode, she's like, so the first episode is down. I'm like, yep, the first episode is down. She's like, okay, so how many episodes are we gonna have for the first season? I'm like, I'm thinking at least about 20 something episodes. She's like, okay, that is definitely good for the first season, especially for a cartoon show. So I'm like, yeah, she's like, okay, I like it. Okay, 20 episodes, so we gonna be doing this a lot. And I love cartoons. I feel like it ain't no good cartoons out there. I'm like, I feel the same way. I'm trying to bring the cartoon, revenue back. She's like, David, you are so amazing. Like I'm like, I was working with a lot of these damn writers and shit. The writers that do like the cartoon shit like Spider Man and all that shit like that. I've been working with them. She was like, oh, you have? I'm like, yeah, I've been working with their ass, but they've been giving me some good ass ideas and shit. They actually, making this shit kind of like they making me out to be a superhero, just like in the series with Elvis Presley. She's like, you know what? I like Spider Man. I'm like, you do? I'm like, I like Spider Man, but I never liked the new Spider Man. I always hated that shit. Not because, and people think that I said I hated the shit because he was dating Zendaya. That's not why I hated his ass. She was like, you mean Tom? I'm like, yeah, she's like, Tom is such a sweetheart. I'm like, he is a damn sweetheart to girls, but I don't give a shit. She's like, okay, so why didn't you like him as Spider Man? I mean, wait, ain't you in the new Spider Man movie? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's about to come out, ain't it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you the new Black Spider Man, right? I'm like, right. She's like, yeah. I read that shit in the article. So when the fuck is the red carpet for that? So I'm like, that's like in the summertime. She was like, oh yeah, that shit gonna be lit. That shit gonna be real lit. So I'm like, yeah, it is. She's like, I knew you. I just realized that you are the new Spider Man. Okay, so why didn't you like Tom and Spider Man? I'm like, cause ass didn't fit right with that shit. Ain't nothing personal. He ain't fit right with that shit. I like the old Spider Man. Spider Man 1, 2, 3, and shit like that. I like that Spider Man, that Peter Parker. So she's like, you know what, David? I ain't gonna lie. That them Spider Mans is good as shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They are really fucking good as shit. I ain't gonna lie. Is it okay? So I have looked at the newest Spider-Man, Tom, and do I think that they're better than the other Spider-Mans? No, I don't. I definitely don't think that shit at all. But I mean, like, you got a point there. You definitely got a point there. I'm like, I just don't fucking see him as the damn Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never accepted his ass. It wasn't the fact he was dating Zendaya. And then, no, I wouldn't be that damn petty. But because if he was a good damn Spider-Man, despite the fact that he was dating Zendaya, I would be like, oh yeah, he still was a good Spider-Man though. He just didn't fit right as Peter Parker. I didn't see that shit. She's like, I ain't see it either, to be honest with you. I'm like, you didn't? She's like, no, I ain't see it either. I'm like, the only damn Spider-Man that I like is the ones that I just fucking told you about. The very first Spider-Man. First one, second one, third one. Those are the ones that I fuck with. But that nigga, no, I'm not a fan of that shit. I looked at him, but I'm not impressed with that shit. The shit didn't, it don't even, he don't, he's not a fucking good actor. He's just not a good actor to me. So she's like, yeah, you right. I mean, I'm not agreeing with you because I'm your girlfriend and stuff, and we working together. But I'm agreeing with you because you definitely got a fucking point. Like he don't seem like a Peter Parker. I'm like, he doesn't. He doesn't fucking seem like a damn Peter Parker. And he ain't selling that shit for me. He just not. And it ain't because his voice is fucking annoying and his face is annoying. It's just that I just don't like him as Peter Parker. So she's like, yeah, I agree with you. I'm like, and Zendaya as MJ, I told her to her face, I'm like, she don't look like a MJ. She literally don't look like a MJ. Do you remember the time when she said she wasn't MJ? And then all of a sudden she became MJ? She was like, she did say that shit in the interview. She did say that. She did say she wasn't MJ, and then all of a sudden she became MJ. I'm like, yeah. So remember when she lied and said she wasn't MJ, and then there wasn't no romantic stuff going on between them in the movie, and then all of a sudden it became that. She was like, yeah, you right. She did actually lie about this shit. So I'm like, yeah. So I just don't see her as fucking MJ either. So she was like, yeah, but Scott Jackson is your MJ in that series, in that movie. She is your MJ. I'm like, Scott Jackson is my MJ. But she did a whole lot better than Zendaya. So she like, I don't know. I don't think she can act better than Zendaya. I'm like, you don't think Scott Jackson can act better than Zendaya? She was like, I don't think so. Zendaya can act. Zendaya can really act. She probably can't act in that fucking Spider-Man shit, but she definitely can act. Like, she got some acting chops. I'm like, I ain't say she didn't, but she ain't do good in that fucking Spider-Man movie. She was like, well, I mean, she did good to me in a lot of other shit. I'm like, yeah, she probably fucking did. But I don't see her as MJ. She's like, okay, and you got every right to feel that way. So I'm like, and I'm gonna keep feeling that fucking way. She's like, you're funny, you're very funny. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, me and Miss Martin, we did, kind of cut up and make love and everything like that, which was really good. Miss Martin has a really good spirit about her. You know what I'm saying? She's like, David, can we go get something to eat? 'Cause I'm kind of hungry. I'm like, you hungry? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I got like a restaurant in my studio. She's like, you did? Where? So she's like, what the fuck? You got a McDonald's? You got McDonald's in here? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how the fuck you get a McDonald's in here? It's a Burger King in here and shit. Oh shit! You actually got fucking workers here. I'm like, yeah. She's like, wait, but don't you ain't you like the only one to come to the studio? I'm like, no, I be having other people pay me to come to my studio to use it and stuff. She's like, oh, they do, like renting it out. I'm like, yeah, they use it to do music or work on the album and shit like that. So they pay me. It's kind of like paying rent. So she's like, oh shit. So they be making a lot of money. I'm like, ain't this shit ain't free? So she's like, damn, this shit is hard as shit. So can I get something for free? I mean, I shouldn't have to pay. She's like, I shouldn't have to pay for it because I'm your girlfriend and you just got some. I'm like, yeah, but I want some more. It's like, fine, I'll give you some more, but can I get something to eat first? So I'm like, she's like, how about we have sex and then I get something to eat? So I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. She's like, yeah. So we had sex again or whatever, and then she wanted to rest up and then get something to eat because she was a little bit tired after we had sex or whatever. So she was a little bit tired, so she was like, I'm gonna get something to eat after I like get a little nap in. So I remember Zendaya called me while I'm working. She like, David. She's like, I know your ass working with that fucking actress on that cartoon show. Why are you doing all these cartoon shows? I'm like, because Zendaya, I'm bringing cartoons back. Ain't no good cartoons out there. She's like, yeah, I can agree with you on that. They make anything into a fucking cartoon. A gallon of fucking milk they'll make that into a cartoon series. They'll make any damn thing, some fucking socks, into a damn cartoon. That is the weirdest shit that you could ever make into a fucking cartoon. Some damn socks. They'll do any fucking thing. A fucking damn, a wig. You know, a wig that you put on your head, they'll literally make that into a fucking damn cartoon. Like, they do any damn thing. I think they don't really be giving a damn no more when it comes to cartoons. I'm like, yeah, which is why I'm trying to bring that shit back. I didn't already brought movies back. I got all types of movies and TV shows out, and now I'm just want to really focus on cartoons. So she's like, all right, I feel you on that. You still with that fucking girl? So I'm like, yeah. She's like, David, why are you what is this I'm hearing that you dating Haley Bailey? So I'm like, I mean, she my girl and everything, but I know she gonna go back to that DDG nigga. Look, the pretty girls always go back to the lame niggas. She was like, he is definitely a fucking lame nigga, but yeah, so you dating her? So I'm like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing her a little bit. She like, David, you fucking her? I'm like, yeah. She's like, wow. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm not gonna take that relationship seriously because you just said it your damn self. She gonna end up back with that nigga anyway. So, I'm not even gonna take that shit seriously anyway. Not gonna get on your case about it. But David, I called you because I wanted to pitch an idea for you, or I wanted to pitch an idea to you. I'm like, what type of idea did you want to pitch to me? So she was like, you ready for it? I'm like, just tell me what it is. She was like, all right, fine, I'll tell you what it is. So, think about this. Now think. I just want you to have an open mind, David. I'm like, what? She's like, I was thinking about a cartoon series about our love life. I'm like, a cartoon series about our love life? She's like, yeah, a cartoon series about our love life. Things that's going on between our love life. We don't hold back nothing. We put it all in the cartoon. It'll be like an adult cartoon. It's not really for kids. I'm like, and what platform would we put this shit on? She's like, we can put it on Hulu. I'm like, we can put it on Hulu. She's like, I was really thinking about it. Maybe do a video game about our love life. I was thinking about a lot of stuff that we could do with our love life. Because, David, if we don't do it, then other companies will fucking do it. Just think about it. You want them capitalizing off of our relationship? I'm like, I do like the sound of money. And I'll be damned if other people make money off of my fucking relationships. She's like, so? What do you think, David? Because I definitely been thinking about this shit. I mean, just even though you got a show with Elvis Presley got his own show coming out on Netflix. So if they capitalizing off of this nigga, you know what I'm saying? What makes you think they wouldn't do that to us and we still alive? I'm like, yeah, you do got a point there. So she's like, so I'm thinking, if we do it our damn selves and fund it our damn selves, it's nothing they can really do because they can't capitalize off of something if we already doing it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got a point there. She's like, I'm thinking about mobile games, for our relationship. Now, obviously, now I'm thinking like when we do the mobile games, do you want them to play as us? Like somebody play you and then a girl play me or whatever like that. I'm like, no, they will make their own avatars and live out their own love life, but they'll be following our love life. She like, okay, I think that would be definitely kind of dope for them to make their own little lead way. Think that would kind of be cute. What about like making babies? Could they make babies, start a family? I'm like, yeah, they could. They could do that, but it would see the type of game mobile that we would do. It would take a lot of work. She was like, David, I don't give a damn as long as we do that shit before other people do it. I'm like, do you know people that's trying to capitalize off our damn love lives? Like, yeah, yeah. Which is why I'm telling you that we should do it right now and stop holding this shit back because if other outlets get a hold of this shit, they're going to want to fucking do this shit. And then you look up and you see people making a cartoon series about our love life. Now I know that's gonna piss you off. And I'm like, yeah, it would. She's like, yep. So what do you say? I'm like, I just said we can do it. I agree with you. She's like, you agree? I'm like, yes, I agree with you. I think we should do it. I agree. So she's like, all right, good. Why the fuck you agree so damn fast though? I'm like, I agree so fast because you got a point there. You gave me a good argument. She's like, I did. I'm like, yeah, you gave me a good argument. She's like, good. I didn't think you was actually gonna cop out that fucking fast. So I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, you coming to get some pussy? Cause you know you be horny. So I'm like, yeah, I am. It's like, all right. She's like, you ain't never bring me my damn orange juice or fucking soda and stuff. You never brought me nothing. You said you was gonna bring me some soup. You ain't never bring me any damn thing. Why the fuck you never came through? I was really actually looking forward to that shit. So I'm like, I actually forgot. She like, that is a very honest ass answer. Thank you for not fucking lying to me. So I'm like, oh, you welcome. She's like, I really thought you was gonna tell. She's like, I really thought you was gonna tell me a damn lie. I'm like, why would I do that? She's like, I just thought you was gonna do that, but I'm glad you was honest. Good, I really appreciate that. So I get off the phone with her, right? And I remember Miss Martin wakes up, and I'm like, I'm looking at her because I ain't gonna lie, she is so pretty. I mean, she is beautiful. And she wake up, she's like, how long was I asleep? Like for like 2 hours. Like I'm hungry. Can I get something to eat? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, girl. You could have been got something to eat. She's like, yeah, but I thought if we had sex, I still would like have energy to get something to eat. But you kind of like that time you fucked the shit out of me. I mean, you really got up in there. I'm like, oh, I did. It's like, yeah, you definitely, yeah, you did. I'm like, well, I'm happy to hear that. It's like, oh, you happy to hear that you fucked my brains out? I'm like, yeah, it's like, you actually are getting me addicted to this shit. You programming me to like be a certain way. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm like, what you mean? It's like, because, what if I'm not around you and I'm really, really horny and I want you to have sex with me? What do I do then? I'm like, you call me and I come and get that pussy. It's like, what if I'm in another state? I'm like, I'm gonna come there. I'm not a normal person. I can get to you. She's like, okay. So when I want it, all I gotta do is call you. I'm like, yeah, it's like, and you'll come through and have sex with me. I'm like, yeah, it's like, okay. I mean, I'm not going nowhere for a couple of weeks anyway until we like done this first season. So you gonna have me all to yourself every day. I'm like, oh, I am. So like, yes, you are. So I'm like, damn, girl, when you're really, why are you so damn thick? It's like, what are you talking about? So we start kissing and stuff. I did end up having sex with her again. She was tired. Well, not that. She was tired, but she still had energy to get something to eat. So I'm like, why are you eating? Can I ask you a question? She was like, yeah. What's the question? I'm like, so why wasn't you on grownish? Like going to college? Cause you definitely old enough to go to college now. She's like, um, no, I just feel like college is not for everybody. I'm like, oh, you don't go to college? She's like, no, not really. I mean, I just don't feel like college is for everybody. And even though it would be in the show, even though it would be in the show and it's not real life, um, I declined on it because I had so many other offers. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, yeah, I had a lot of other offers, and I just felt like I just didn't want to be a part of it, and it wasn't because it was a bad idea to do Grownish, but it just wasn't for me. It was different outlets and different companies pitching movie ideas to me and stuff like that. I just released my newest movie that's on Paramount. Just released my newest movie with them. So I'm doing a lot of films and working on a lot of stuff. And what I'm saying is like, you know, I didn't want to be the person to just be like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. Because if I was to take that challenge on, then I would have to give up a lot of special projects that is holding dear to my heart. And I got companies that I opened up and that I'm running and stuff. And I'm a businesswoman. I'm a very, very serious businesswoman. So it's like I really got the neck for business and I got the eye for business. So I definitely been investing my money and my own companies and stuff. And yeah, so that's pretty much why I haven't, took on Grownish. It's not that it's a bad show. It's just that it's not for me. It's literally not for me. And it's nothing bad about Grownish and everything like that. Like I really literally have nothing against Grownish, but it's really not for me. And like I don't want to be because it'll be so cliche for all of the kids to end up on Grownish. I'm I'm like, yeah, I get what she's saying. It's like, all of us ending up on Grownish and going to college. Like, I just think that's very tacky and just, I just think it's very tacky and very obvious. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I decided to decline on that shit. I'm like, well, okay. It's like, what, you like the show? 'Cause, I mean, it's not a bad show. Like I said, it's not a bad show. I didn't say it was. I just, I'm like, have you watched it before? She's like, um, I had watched it before when it very first came out, but I now lately I just haven't really had time to really watch it because I've been so busy going, traveling from different states and stuff and going to, premieres and dealing with my own companies and stuff. I mean, you know about that stuff, right? You got your own companies. I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, yeah. So it's like, she's like, you got your own little studio for cartoons. So obviously you know about that shit. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, so I've just been really like, working on a lot of shit. And it ain't like I said, it's nothing personal or nothing against the show. It's just that I've been working. I just haven't been really having time to look at the show. So I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, but what have you watched it before? I'm like, the show? She's like, yeah, have you looked at it before? I'm like, yeah, I have watched it. My honest opinion about this show. I'm gonna be real with you. Um, it's not my type of show. She's like, how did I know? I had a feeling you was gonna say that. I'm like, you did? She's like, yeah, I had a feeling you was gonna say it's not your type of show. I'm like, it's just not. I'm not a college person. I didn't go to college, and I'm not. I don't plan on going to college or none of that shit. Like, it's not for me, and it's not in my mind to go to college. But yeah, I feel like in my mind, that show is for college people, people that's actually in college. But yeah, I really just, it's just not for me, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, so it ain't my typical thing, but it's like, wait, wasn't you dating Storm Reed? I'm like, yeah, I was dating Storm Reed. So like, yeah, she go with that little football player now, like Deion Sanders' son. I'm like, yeah, yeah, she go with that nigga. She was like, wow. She really left you for him? I'm like, no, she didn't leave me for him. I mean, our relationship was she could have boyfriends, and she came to me and told me that she was starting to like this boy, and that they might end up, being girlfriend and boyfriend, and he goes to another college. But she was honest with me. It's not like she held it back from me, that she was doing this shit. And I mean, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And we decided that, I was like, why don't you just go ahead and go with him and, I let you do your thing. At first she didn't want to do that. She still wanted to date me and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, it's gonna get too complicated for you. It's gonna stress you out trying to please both of us. It's gonna stress you out. I don't want to stress you out, so why don't you go ahead and be with that dude and focus and put all your focus on him because he is in college, so he understands your life right now. And she's like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, I mean, I'm literally telling her what I'm saying. And yeah, we broke up, and I mean, I was still having sex with her and stuff like that, but yeah, for the most part, that's who she with. She's with that dude, and that's her boyfriend. And yeah, pretty much that's where I'm leaving it at. She was like, so you don't see her like that? I'm like, occasionally, yeah, I see her. It's like, but if I'm your girlfriend, I don't want you fucking her. I'm like, you don't? It's like, no. I'm like, do you got a problem with Storm Reed? She's like, I don't have a problem with Storm Reed. I'm like, you don't? She's like, yeah. I mean, I don't have beef with nobody in the industry. Like, I don't. In the industry, I mean, like the Hollywood world, yeah, I don't have any problem with anybody. Like, I'm good, like, with everybody. Everybody loves me. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah. I'm like, well, they better not be looking at your damn body. It's like, I can't help that. I mean, people look at me, they're gonna look at me, David. So I'm like, yeah, but you my girl. It's like, I know that, David. I know I'm your girl. I'm like, come here. So that means that all this ass is mine. It's like, yes, it is yours. So she was done eating. We ended up having sex, and I remember I'm asking her, have she ever gave head before? Like, have she ever, basically have she ever sucked dick before? I'm asking her that. And she's like, wait, are you asking me have I ever sucked dick before? I'm like, yeah, because I mean, you did kind of have a boyfriend. She's like, I ain't never sucked this dick. Like, we ain't never do oral sex to each other. No, I never done it before. I'm like, okay. What about a porno video? She's like, you mean a sex tape? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you asking me, have I did a sex tape before? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you know this, like you popped my cherry. Of course I never done a sex tape. I'm like, a sex tape don't have to necessarily mean you're having sex, right? So like, I do know that. So I'm like, would you want to do one with me? She's like, but that depends. Will this shit get out to everybody? Will it get leaked online and shit? I'm like, what makes you think it would get leaked online? It's like, I'm just asking a question. I'm not going to turn around and be on Pornhub and ask videos and see our video up there. I'm like, why would you do that? It's like, I'm just asking. I'm like, you look at porn? She's like, everybody look at porn, David. I'm like, okay. It's like, I mean, everyone looks at porn. I'm like, okay, that's true. Everybody looks at porn. She's like, yeah. So I mean, like, I'm not gonna be on there and then I see that shit. I'm like, but why would you want to be on there? It's like, you're right. I mean, I don't need to be on there now because I am actually having sex, so I don't really necessarily have to be on there now. But I'm just saying okay, all right, you're right. But it's not gonna get leaked on those sites, is it? I'm like, no, of course not, Miss Martin. So she's like, you, I don't know why you keep. I know you like nicknames, but why you keep? I just don't like because I'm not married. I'm like, yes, you are. You are already my wife. She's like, oh, I am. So I'm Mrs. Sims. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I just realized this whole damn time that you had your babies with you. I literally just realized that. I'm like, you just realized I had my kids with me? She's like, yeah, she was like, they you and Jenna Ortega babies, right? I'm like, yeah, they are. She's like, why the fuck? Okay, so they do look like, they have her complexion, but they look like you. I'm like, right. She's like, that is like so cool. I think that's really dope. I like that. They are really pretty. Can I hold one of them? I'm like, yeah. So she holding one of the babies, and I don't know what took her so damn long to realize I had the babies with me. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to notice that I had them, but once she did notice them, she became literally obsessed with the babies. Holding them and playing around with them and shit. And then I reminded myself, I'm like, God damn. Oh yeah, I had already picked up Miss Williams. That was yesterday. So I thought I had to pick her up, but I had already picked her up. So she called me on the phone, Miss Williams. I'm like, what's going on, YouTuber girl? It's like, hi baby. I'm in the house and I'm waiting for you. I'm like, you are? It's like, yeah. I'm like, what you got on? It's like, you really want to know what I got on? I'm like, yeah. It's like, I'm wearing one of your t-shirts and panties and I got no bra on. I'm like, why the hell are you telling me this? You're like, cause you just asked me. Didn't you just ask me what I got on? So obviously you want to know what I have on, so I'm telling you. So I'm like, and you saying you have what? It's like, I have on one of your t-shirts with no with panties on, with no bra. So I'm like, you think you can like, show me, like send me a picture? She's like, is that gonna get you here faster? So I'm like, yeah, if you send me some photos, like, okay. So she sent me some photos, right? And I was already gonna see her. Now, Haley, she was like texting me and saying that she wanted to see me and stuff like that. And I mean, in the back of my mind, I do want to see Haley, and I know we're going to be working, on the next season of Teen Doctor together. So, I definitely want to work with her. I mean, I definitely want to talk to her anyway. So, I don't know. She sent those pictures real fast, like Miss Williams did. I'm like, God damn. Well, this girl got an ass on her. Like, I'm like, God damn. So, Miss Martin, like, baby, what you looking at? I'm like, nothing. As a text message got sent to my phone. It's like, what, from another girl? It's like, David, I know you've been fucking around and dibbling dabbling with a lot of girls, but now we're dating. I mean, I know it's gonna be a little while before you stop talking to them, but I do want us to be serious. I'm like, I do too. You are so damn sexy. You know what I want to do? I want to put a baby in you. It's like, if I let you get me pregnant, you not gonna leave me and leave me by myself with this pregnancy. I'm like, of course not. She's like, all right, okay. And about that porno movie, we can do it. I'm like, you sure? It's like, yeah, I'm sure. As long as it don't get leaked on like Pornhub or X videos, I'm sure. I'm like, all right, so I get the camera out and she started, taking her clothes off and stripping and she's in her panties and stuff and I'm looking at her. I'm like, God damn, girl. It's like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna turn that ass up. It's like, oh, you already was turning that ass up. So me and Miss Martin did do a sex tape. She wasn't nervous. She did have fun. Like she enjoyed herself. And that's the thing. I don't want a girl to do a sex tape with me and be all nervous doing the sex tape. Like I need you to be yourself as you're doing the sex tape. Like I need you to be lucid when I get in the pussy. I don't want you to be all stiff and looking back at the camera and shit. I want you to get into the motion when I'm fucking the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel good and happy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not fun when a girl is stiff. It's not fun because they're not really into it. Because they too nervous that the video gonna get out. You know what I'm saying? I need girls to be loosened up when I do it. So after we had sex and cut up and did the sex tape, I remember after we was done, I did take Miss Martin back to like the hotel. I told her she can stay in one of my apartments. And she was really happy for that. She told her mom and dad to just bring her car. And they was like, why are you not coming back to the hotel? She's like, because David let me stay in one of his apartments. So she's like, you don't think he's doing that, you don't think he got a motive? So Miss Martin like, Mom, don't worry about what's happening between me and David. We're working together. So she's like, yeah, but you don't think he's warming you up to have sex with you? It's like, Mom, even if I am having sex with him or I let him have sex with me, that's my decision. That's not yours, Mom. All I'm asking you is, can you bring my car? So she's like, I can deal without that lecture and all that stuff, Mom. You can save it because I'm almost 20 years old and I can do what I want. I can live my life the way I want to. And whatever I decide in my love life is my love life. Mom, you can't make those decisions for me. So if I decide that I want him to have sex with me or let him have sex with me, that is my decision. That's not yours. So she's like, you know what? You are absolutely right. It is not my business. She's like, yes, it is not your business. So can you not make it your business? So she's like, fine, I won't. She's like, thank you. I really appreciate that. So I just remember, after we were done, well, after she was done talking to her mom, we did have sex in the apartment. I definitely beat it up. And then I left to go see Haley. And now Haley had opened the door. It's like, you brought your babies again. I'm like, yeah, they're going to be with their mom tomorrow. She's like, oh, they're not going to be with their daddy? I'm like, she misses her. She misses our daughters. I mean, she's a mom. She's like, they are so pretty. Wow. Can you come in, baby? She's like, how come you haven't been answering none of my texts? I've been sending you new pictures and everything. I'm like, I just got a feeling you gonna get back with DDG. She's like, why do you got that feeling? I'm like, I just have that feeling. She's like, and why is that? I'm like, look, how many times y'all have broken up? Let's be real. She's like, how many times we broken up? I'm like, yeah. It's like, um, a couple. I'm like, so how many times y'all got back together? She's like, yeah, but this breakup is a lot. It's just a lot different, David. And this one hits a lot different. And I know you, and even if I was to get back with DDG today or tomorrow, it doesn't change the fact that, she's like, it doesn't change the fact that we have to work together. It doesn't change the fact that I still like you. I still have feelings for you. And yeah, I'm still gonna let you have sex with me, even if I do get back with DDG and people see me back together with him, whatever like that. Even if that is the case, I'm not gonna stop dating you, and I'm not gonna stop being your girlfriend. Yeah, he probably gonna think that because I'm gonna tell him that we not talking or whatever. But you already know I'm not gonna stop talking to you, David. Like I still have feelings for you. So you have nothing to worry about, I promise. So we start kissing. I did end up beating it up. And I had did a sex tape with Haley. I mean, she had let me do a couple of sex tapes with her or whatever like that. And I'm like, have you ever did one with DDG? He's like, no, he never asked me to do stuff like that. I mean, we did a lot of nasty shit, but we ain't never filmed the shit. Like, we never did that before. This is some new shit. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, definitely. And you got all this damn footage on me with me showing my body and letting you fuck me on camera and sucking your thing. I'm hoping and promise, like, I really hope that you don't leak this shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna leak it. I promise you, it's not gonna happen. She's like, so how did the whole meeting go with Nickelodeon? I'm like, it went really good. I mean, it was really fast though. She's like, okay, so y'all started working on the cartoon series with Tupac and everything. I'm like, yeah, yeah, and actually we did. She's like, so why are you like? I know why you're doing all these cartoon shows. I mean, you're trying to bring the essence of real cartoon shows back. I'm like, yeah, because back in my time, and even though I'm a teenager again, but back then, they had good cartoon shows that actually had a fucking meaning behind them. Now, you look up, they make anything into a fucking cartoon show. She's like, yeah, you got a damn point there. They do make anything into a cartoon show. I'm like, literally anything into a cartoon show. There's no thought behind it. There's no passion behind it. You can look at a fucking damn. You can look at it. Let's say you're looking at some dishes. Make a damn fork into a goddamn cartoon show. A fork living out a journey as being a damn fork. So she's like, that is a stupid ass cartoon show. I'm like, yeah, but they'll do that shit. So she's like, yeah, you right. You do got a point there. I'm like, so it's like if people can literally make dumb ass shit into cartoon shows, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel like they're dumbing down this generation with the cartoon shows, and then they're putting all this gay shit in cartoon shows. I really want to bring cartoons back where they don't put all this gay shit into a cartoon show, because you got to look at the fact that little kids are looking at this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know what the fuck you think they know. So you think by them looking at this gay shit, you think that they know that they're looking at this gay shit. You're programming them to get older and think gay or do gay shit. You're programming them. You know what I'm saying? And they know what the fuck they doing. So it's like, you're right, David. You are absolutely fucking right. I'm like, so they shouldn't be putting, gay shit in kiddie shows. She's like, you, David, I'm not in a disagreement with you. I definitely agree with you. I'm like, you do? She's like, I 100% agree with you. So she's like, you are absolutely right. I'm looking at a cartoon show with one of my damn nieces and one of my cousins. And you're right. It was some lesbian shit in there. And I'm like, why is this in a kiddie ass show? Like, what is this? Like, why is this in here? And we had to stop looking at it because it was definitely inappropriate. So it's like, it was two girls kissing and sucking on each other's nipples and stuff. And these are cartoon characters. And it's like, why are you putting this in a goddamn cartoon? Like, this is a cartoon for kids. Like, what is wrong with these people? So I'm like, that lets you know where their minds is at. She's like, their minds are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you want to put that shit in a cartoon show? I can see if you literally say that this is a cartoon show for adults, then I can see why you put that in there. But the fact that you're saying it's for a kid and it's a kid show, and then you putting this in a kid show, I don't see why you're doing that because that's not needed, and they don't need to see that shit. I'm like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. Like, they are definitely pushing that agenda a lot, and they need to stop that shit. It's bad enough that they putting it in TV shows and movies and shit. It's bad enough that they already doing that. But the fact that they're putting this shit in cartoon kiddie shows that's made for kids, they're definitely literally going overboard now. I think they doing too much. I'm like, you think so? It's like, yeah, I definitely do. So we ended up having sex again, me and Haley Bailey. She's like, I can't wait for our show to come out to the world. I'm like, you sing, you sing like real good. You got a beautiful voice, Haley. It's like, I do. I'm like, yeah. It's like, I can sing something for you. I'm like, you gonna sing for me as I'm beating it up? It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sing with you all up in me, like your dick in my guts. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sing with that big ass dick hurting me. I'm like, you gonna sing for me? She's like, I'm gonna try. So I started beating it up or whatever. She was singing. I'm like, sing, girl, sing for daddy. He's like, I can't. Ah. So I'm beating it up. I'm like, sing for daddy, sing for me, girl. It's like, okay. So I'm beating it up or whatever like that. And she was trying to sing, but I kept like beating it up real fast or whatever. And it was so good. I'm like, I'm turning the lining out this pussy. He's like, so I'm beating it up or whatever like that. It was really good. And yeah, I mean, even if she do get back with DDG, I'm not gonna be mad and trip off of it, cause she is still my girl, and I'm definitely gonna make sure I beat that pussy up on the regular. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this nigga. I don't owe him shit. I don't know no DDG. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this nigga at all. So it is what it is, player. So I remember after I was done with Haley, I went to go see Miss Williams. She opened the door. I'm like, YouTuber girl. She was like, oh my God, you brought the babies. They are so cute. Because when you came and got me, you didn't have the babies with you. Wow, they look. Okay, so they are light like Jenna Ortega. These are your Jenna Ortega babies. I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, so they light like you and Jenna Ortega. Well, they're light like Jenna Ortega. Like they have her complexion and her hair and stuff, and they look like you. I'm like, yeah. She's like, that is so cool. That's really cute. I like that. So she's like, all right, well, can I hold one of them? I want to beat it up. She's like, oh, that's all you came for is just to get in my panties. I'm like, no. It's like, I mean, David, you gonna have to do this for our kids. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, I'm pregnant too. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, ain't Jenna Ortega pregnant again? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I'm pregnant. I just found out like 2 days ago. I wanted to surprise you with like a dinner and stuff. I'm like, and you're saying that I'm the father. It's like, you are the daddy. I'm like, how am I the damn daddy? It's like, because you are, because, David, I found out I was pregnant 2 days ago when I got back, when you came and got me. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah. Well, like a day ago, not really 2 days ago, but like a day ago, after you picked me up from like the airport and stuff. And like I said, I was probably pregnant the whole time filming that TV show because whenever you picked me up and you was like, your stomach looked big, I'm like, yeah, it's like everybody was saying that the whole time while we were filming. Like they was like, girl, your stomach looked big, like you gaining weight. And the whole time I'm not knowing that I could be pregnant, and it didn't dawn on me that I didn't take my damn my period because it wasn't on my fucking mind. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that you wasn't coming on your period. She's like, yeah, I wasn't thinking about it. Like, it didn't dawn on me that I'm not coming on my period. And then when you said it, like yesterday, you was like, girl, your stomach look big. And she was like, you was like, your face getting all fat and stuff. Like, what you been eating out there? And that just like hit me like, why would you say that to me? And then after we had sex and did all the stuff we normally do, and did that sex tape, I decided to go to the pharmacy and get a pregnancy test, a few of them, and I took them. I was like, damn, I'm pregnant. The whole time I was out there, because I've been out there for like almost a month. So it says that I'm like a month pregnant. Like it says it under the thing. It says, let me show you. I'm like, oh, it do say I'm not pregnant. It's like, yeah, so the whole time I'm out there filming that shit, I was pregnant and I didn't even know that I was pregnant. I'm like, oh, it's like, and that explains why every time I was trying to work out, I was getting dizzy and lightheaded and I couldn't finish my workout. I'm like, oh, it's like, yeah, I didn't know that shit. Like, I literally did not know that I was pregnant. So I'm like, yeah, you can't work out while you're pregnant. It's like, yeah, I know that shit now. So I'm like, okay. So I got my nurses, one of my nurses, to come and check her and see if I was the father, cause she was out there for a while filming. So I mean, she could be telling me anything. So they was like, no, you the father. I was like, yeah, she's not lying to you. I mean, the math adds up. She is a month pregnant, but it's more than one baby. She's having triplets. She's like, did you just say I'm having triplets? She was like, yeah, you are. She's like, you said triplets? So she's like, yeah, yeah, you're having triplets. She's like, oh, okay. I didn't know I was having, wow, okay. She's like, yeah, which is why your stomach is so big. She's like, okay. So she's like, but yeah, you are definitely a father. Like, you can look at the screen bars. I mean, it is definitely your sperm. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, yeah, the math checks out. You're the daddy. So I'm like, all right, well, thank you for letting me know. I just got to make sure, you know. It's like, I understand, David. I get why you do this stuff. Because girls will tell you anything. You're a big A-list actor and pop star and stuff. So girls will tell you anything just to, you know, stay close to you. So I definitely get it. I'm like, okay, cool. So she leaves or whatever. She's like, I mean, I understand why you had to do that, but I wasn't sleeping with anybody while I was out there. I'm like, you wasn't? She's like, no. She's like, I mean, I don't even know why you thought that I would be sleeping with anybody. I'm like, I just wanted to make sure. It's like, yeah, I understand, David. I'm like, so tell me, how was it out there, you know, filming and stuff? She's like, um, the first day out there, I was really fucking nervous. I'm like, why? She's like, because I was the star of the show. And a lot of the girls was mad because they was like, you only the star of the show because you're dating David and you're his girlfriend and stuff like that, and you fucking him. And they was like, and you also probably sucking his dick. And I'm just like, even if I am doing all that, yeah, I am fucking him. But so what? Even if that is the case, you know, why should that be any? Why are you treating me bad because David's my boyfriend? So I was kind of getting bullied. I'm not. I never got bullied before, David. I'm like, you ain't never get bullied before. It's like, David, I have never got bullied before. That has never happened to me before. I'm like, it happens. Like, no, not in my wildest dreams. I have never got bullied before. But yeah, I got bullied the first time out there, like my first couple of days out there. Actually, the whole time I was out there, I mean, I did get some friends from the cast that were girls, like two girls that I became friends with out there, and then the rest of them was like definitely bitches. They were definitely bitches. I'm not gonna say they were divas. They were definitely bitches. Like they really, really pissed me off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was one girl that I wanted to fuck up so bad, but I by the time I had ran over to her, I had like ran out of breath. Like I literally ran out of breath. Like I never run out of breath running to somebody. So it's like that was another sign right there that I could have been pregnant, even though I'm pregnant and you know I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. But all these signs that I didn't really take heed to out there filming, and I didn't know what was happening to me out there. I just thought because I'm in another state and I never really been in a state before that maybe a lot of things are different, like the air is different and everything was just different out there. I'm like, okay, so like yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna be another damn season whenever that show comes out because they say the show comes out sometime next year. So whenever that show comes out, I don't know if it's gonna be another damn season because I hated those girls. I hated the whole vibe of being out there. And yeah, I just didn't like that shit. I'm like, you didn't say, yeah, I didn't like it. And then the fact that the show is kind of like animated, it's a 3D show, and we were like doing the voices and stuff. And I think it was kind of cool to do that stuff and be able to, to see how all that stuff works. But even though the show is animated, I can't, even if it is a second season, can't we do it from here? I don't have to go all the way out there to do that shit. I'm like, I mean, yeah, we can do it from here. I mean, you really don't want to go back there, do you? So, no. I stuck it out. I literally stuck it out because I'm like, I only got like few more weeks here. I'm only here for a month. So, like I'm gonna tough it out and, I'm not gonna bitch up, but I definitely do not want to go back there. I'm like, okay. So, like, yeah, I definitely don't. And every time I was taking a shower, I felt like somebody was watching me or like somebody was filming me. I'm like, you felt like that's like, yeah, I don't know why I felt like that, but I literally felt like it was hitting cameras where I was at. Like I literally felt like people was filming me. I still feel like somebody was filming me. I'm like, you feel like that really? It's like, yes, I really honestly feel like they were filming me. Like somebody was filming me with hitting cameras. So I'm like, and they probably was. I mean, if you felt like somebody was actually filming, like David, I literally had that feeling like somebody was filming me or had their camera on me. And I really think they got footage of me being naked and being in my underwears and shit. Like I literally think they have footage of that shit. I'm like, you think so? It's like I wouldn't put it past them because it was this creepy ass guy that was working there at the place, at the animation place or whatever. Everybody else was real cool and stuff, but it was this creepy, weird ass couple. They were like, it was like the girl and the man, they both was like really creepy and asking creepy ass questions and shit. And the guy literally was comfortable saying, like, I wonder how you look. I wonder how you look naked. What type of underwear you wear when you go to sleep? And I'm looking at him like, I know he not asking me that shit. And he was like, yeah, what type of panties you wear naked? I'm just curious to know. I'm like, none of your fucking business. And he really, really creeped me out. Like he literally creeped me the fuck out. And his wife creeped me out too. And that's why I was saying that I felt like somebody was watching me. So I'm like, well, did anything happen out there? She's like, luckily nothing didn't happen out there. But the fact that he asked me that question really made me feel some type of way. I mean, he didn't ask me shit like that again, but I caught him staring at me a couple of times, like looking at me and shit. And I just really felt on ease being around him. Like I didn't feel comfortable or safe being around him, and especially his wife. So I'm like, all right, yeah, you ain't going back there. You don't got to worry about going back there again. It's like, yes, I was. I ain't gonna lie, David. I was literally scared. I was this close of calling you and telling me to come and telling you to come and get me. But I wanted to finish it out because you did, had you got this opportunity for me, and I'm happy that you did do this for me, David. It was really sweet for you to do that for me and stuff. So I ain't want to like waste your time and come back early. So I was like, I'm gonna just, stick it out and whatever. And I did, and yeah, it's done. But that guy is creepy. You ever met him? You haven't met him before? I'm like, what you mean? So like, I'll take a picture of him so you can see, so I can show you. I'm like, wait, that guy don't work there. She was like, he don't. I'm like, no, what the fuck was he doing there? She's like, so you saying, you know what? That makes a lot of damn sense. Because when we had meetings and stuff, him or that woman wasn't there. They never was there at none of the meetings or none of the like important stuff. So I'm like, yeah, they probably was acting like they were working there. She's like, oh my fucking God. That nigga was a predator. I'm like, he might have been a rapist. She's like, oh my God. He probably was. Oh my God. What if he was trying to rape me? Because David, I seen him in the fucking market and shit. When I was in the market getting food and shit, I seen him that same day. And he kept following me in different aisles and shit. And then luckily I had like I tricked them. Like I lost them in the market. And so what I did is I act like I was getting some food and I left my cart right there and act like I was getting something and I ended up leaving out the market and I got my car and pulled off real fast. I think that he was gonna try to take me that day. He was trying to abduct me that day. I'm like, you think so? She's like, yes, he was, David. And I'm so glad that you just said that he didn't work there because now it all makes sense. Because he was literally following me in the fucking market. Like in every aisle that I went to, he was going in every aisle. Literally, his wife was too. And I heard them not, well, they were like whispering to each other. And when I did that, when I lost them, when I left my cart there and they thought I was coming back to that aisle, I literally hauled ass out of that fucking market. I'm like, you did? She's like, yeah, because I did not feel right. I felt like something was going to happen to me or they was going to try to kidnap me. So I'm like, well, I'm glad you was thinking on your feet. She's like, yes, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so, and I'm like, did you ever see him again? She's like, that guy and that woman. I'm like, yeah, did you ever see him again? She's like, no, I didn't see him again after that. Actually, the whole time I was there after that few encounters with them, I didn't see him after that. I do remember it was one girl that was like with us, and then we didn't see her anymore. And I think that was kind of weird too. I'm like, what? The girls, like one of the girls that was part of the cast, we had to replace her because she just didn't show up, and people checked on her and went to her apartment and stuff, and she wasn't in there. Like her stuff was there, but she wasn't in there. And I remember that guy talking to that same girl too. So he probably abducted that girl. He probably kidnapped her and shit. I'm like, yep, that could happen. That type of stuff do happen. She's like, well, I'm definitely not going back out there because it is rapists out there like walking among us. And yeah, he was really comfortable asking me what type of panties I'm wearing. And he was like, what type of panties you wearing going to bed? Like, why you asking me that? I'm not gonna fucking tell you, you fucking weirdo. So I'm like, okay, well, you ain't gotta worry about that because you ain't going back out there. So like, thank you. And I'm pregnant with your babies, and so you definitely better put protection on me. So I'm like, yeah, is it like, can we have sex again? So we had sex, me and Miss Williams, and I did really miss Miss Williams a lot. Like that girl is so, she is so pretty. Like she is so like the beautifulest, sexiest girl. Like I don't care what nobody said. That girl is so beautiful, and I love her attitude. Like she has the sweetest attitude, and she is really nice. She a really cool girl, really down to earth girl. Like a lot of people, if you see Miss Williams, you would think that she's not down to earth or she's not a cool girl to be around, but she is a real cool girl to be around. Like she's a really sweet girl. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people, she got a body on her, and I definitely know that a lot of people be looking at her like definitely checking her out like damn she's thick as hell, you know what I'm saying? Like I already know what they be saying, but plus my girl like to dress real sexual, like she like to show her body off. That's the type of girl she is. I can't tell her like what to wear and stuff like that. I mean, like she gonna wear what she want to wear, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna stop this episode here, and I hope everybody enjoyed me talking to y'all and everything like that, cause I definitely enjoyed hollering at y'all and everything like that. So, yeah, deuces.